Hello and welcome to this video around a football deep block. By the end of this video you will be able to understand what a deep block is, why we might use one, some of the key characteristics involved with a deep block, and how we might set one up. So what is a deep block? A deep block is an out-of-possession tactical approach that a team might use during a game. A deep block is seen as a negative approach and can often be called parking the bus and is mainly associated with lesser teams, but the reality of it is, most teams will use a deep block at some point. Teams who are quite famous for using a deep block are Burnley and Atletico Madrid, and Jose Mourinho is quite a famous manager associated with a deep block. But again, the reality of it is most teams will use a deep block at some point. It might be to protect a lead with limited time remaining, or they might just be under a little bit of pressure. So why might a team use a deep block? Deep block is designed to limit space for the attacking team. The space we're trying to limit is space where most goals are scored from. This space is just inside the box and just outside of it. So let's take a look at an example. So in this example, we've got Juventus playing against Dortmund. Juventus are the team out of possession, and we can see that they're utilising a deep block because of a few key traits. The first trait is the position on the pitch. Juventus are very deep and very central. As we mentioned before, these are the areas that a deep block is designed to protect, so this is no surprise. The next key element is shape. A common shape amongst deep block users is a 4-4-2 formation, and we can see that here clearly, with Juventus utilising 4 defenders, 4 midfielders, and 2 attackers. Not all teams using a deep block will use a 4-4-2 formation. Some may use a 4-5-1 or a 4-1-4-1 formation. Some may even use a 5-3-2. The next key element involved with a deep block is to do with distances. A deep block needs to remain compact, so we can break distances down into 3 key parts. Firstly, the distance between players within the same unit. So here we'll look at the centre backs. As we can see, the distance is very small and very compact. This again helps limit space available for Borussia Dortmund to exploit. The next key distance is distance between units. As we can see here, we'll use the centre back and the central midfielder. Again, the distance is very small. This again limits space available for Borussia Dortmund to exploit. The final distance is the distance between all 3 units. So here we've got the defence to attack is a very, very small distance. This again just limits the space centrally that Borussia Dortmund can play into and potentially exploit. So let's take a look at another example. In this example, we've got Canada playing the USA. We can see Canada are using a deep block because they're displaying similar traits that Juventus displayed in the previous example. Their defensive unit is very deep. There is a short distance between units, and there's a short distance between all 3 units. This is again restricting the amount of space centrally available for the USA. So let's head back to the tactic board and explore a deep block a little bit more. So here we are on the tactic board. Together we're going to organise a deep block. To help us with it, we're going to add a few zones to the pitch. This will give us a little bit of a guidance as to where players are in relation to the deep block. We've now added 5 zones to the pitch. We're going to number these from left to right, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So the first trait that we need to establish is deep and central. The defensive unit at the minute is probably deep enough, so we just need to focus on the central. To begin to do that, we're going to position both centre backs in zone 3. Again, to limit the distance between players within the same unit, we're going to move the left back and right back into zone 2 and 4. This creates a very deep and very compact defensive unit. The next distance that we need to consider is the distance between units. So we need to consider the distance between the defensive and midfield units. So to start with, we'll just reposition the 2 central players in zone 3. We'll pull them a little bit closer to the 2 centre backs to create that short distance. And now we'll do the same with the 2 wide players in zones 2 and 4. We now have the clear 2 banks of 4 established. And now the final unit that we need to consider is the attacking unit. As in the Juventus example, we can position both strikers just a little bit deeper to create that compact distance between 3 units. Remember, When using a deep block, you need to make sure that you are protecting deep and central areas, and limiting the amount of opportunities that an opposition team can play into these areas. Thanks for watching. If it helped or you enjoyed it, please like, comment and subscribe.